life. Both of her parents migrated to America right before she was born. She grew up being the only child, and because of that, making friends was its own personal struggle. But over the years, after all the trials and errors, Janelle's life is finally feeling like it just begun. This is Janelle's story. Welcome to Coming to New England. My name is Genesis Garcia, and my guest today is my cousin, Janelle Gomez. Thank you for being here today.
No problem. It's a pleasure.
All right, so let's start it off. What's your full name?
Janelle Gomez.
Javon Gomez. You sure?
Yes, indeed. I mean, I have a second last name, Cabrera, but that's about it.
What is the backstory on your name?
Backstory of my name? Well, my mom wanted to name me Mayrin, which would convert in English to Marie-ish. And
It's basic, but continue.
Yeah, completely basic. Thank God it didn't happen. But my dad was like, heck nah, she has to have a J in her name because I have a J in my name. My dad's name's Jose. So with that being said, my mom was like really like messed up off drugs because of the fact that like she just gave birth,
Yeah.
she was knocked out and she just gave birth. So she was knocked. While she was knocked, my dad was like, oh, named Janelle. So
Seriously.
boom.
I know you have a couple of nicknames. Can you tell us some of them?
Chi-Chi is like the more biggest one.
Chi-Chi is a common Hispanic thing.
Yeah, because I was like the baby, so they always called me that.
Chi-Chi.
I also like pineapple because I got a pineapple tattoo on the back of my leg. So
I'm not calling you Pineapple.
you do though sometimes. You called me DJ Pineapple before.
And on that note, when and where were you born?
Well, I was born here in Providence, Rhode Island, Rhode Island Hospital, I think, or something like that. I don't know where, but
The common Providence thing to do.
exactly. And then what was the other question?
When and where were you born?
So that was where. So when I was born, December 13th, 1995.
That makes you a Sagittarius?
Sag gang. Yes.
Oh, that's funny. I'm a Capricorn, just in case you didn't know that.
But you're the first day of a Capricorn, so you got some Sagittarius traits. Don't try to play me.
So how did your mom and your dad come to the USA?
Well, my mom came as an illegal, and my father came at 18 when my grandfather called, like, asked for him to come away or something. I don't know. Yeah.
The same stuff. And the same thing with your mom too?
No, my mom came illegal. So
Just like my mom and my dad. We got that similarities. We go have a coming to America party.
we should. I mean, we should talk to Lasso. Maybe we could
Coming to America party.
stir the pot, make something up. I don't know.
All right, I'll bring the guandules. Before they came here, did they already have family members here in the USA?
When my mom came here, she was the first of her family.
Okay.
My dad, on the other hand, he had his father here. That was it.
All right, so he definitely got lucky with that.
My dad was wicked lucky, yeah.
What is your earliest childhood memory that you could recall?
My earliest childhood memory? Dang, right now the first thing to pop up in my head is like, I was like living in the projects and I had like this white jumpsuit on and I was all like, yeah, and I was drinking chocolate milk and I was about to like go to school or whatever, but then I didn't want to and then I just totally like, my mom was watching TV and I just came and like, acted like I fell, and I was like, yo, I can't go to school, I just broke my leg. Yeah.
You really didn't want to stunt with your outfit that day?
No, I want to stay home, play with my toys, and then, yeah, she was like, muchacha, and she was like, nah, you going to school.
My mom
so
would have
go
whooped
on
me.
with your
She would have taken me by my greña and be like, we're going to school right
You
now.
go to school right now.
I don't know what you think this is.
I was a good actor, though, I tried.
Describe the personalities of your family members. Do you clash with any of your parents because of it?
I feel like I don't really clash. I sometimes I get into bickering with my dad, but that's only because like me and my dad are like best friends.
Yeah.
So like
No doubt.
sometimes he's like, you forget that I'm your dad, and I'm just like, no, I don't. I promise. So, yeah.
But that's kind of his fault too, because like, like with my job, like my kids forget that I'm a authority figure and stuff like that. So when I have to get them in trouble, to be like, well, you're my homie. You really gonna get me in trouble?
You're like, yeah.
I'm sorry. Like I'm gonna have to throw you under the bus. But me and my mom, we're like Beyonce's. We can't live together, but
Really?
we're working it out.
We're working it out.
We're working it out. What
It's
kind of
like a
games?
marriage.
What kind of games did you grow up playing?
I used to play with dolls a lot. Manhunt,
Of course.
What was I? I was into that ball thing, that thing you put on your ankle and then you
Oh,
just jump
yes.
over it.
You did that yesterday, right?
Yeah, I was like feeling
I
like
saw
a
that.
kid yesterday because of that. I was like so happy.
That's tired.
But it's so much fun.
It's fun. Did you have a favorite toy? If so, what was it?
That ball there.
That ball thing?
That was fire. You think this is a game? Like,
I don't think that's that fire.
I
but-
mean, honestly, I never learned how to hula hoop, so that was my ish right there. I was like, oh, you could hula hoop, but how long could you do this? Exactly.
For real. Growing up, I had an allowance. Did you have an allowance?
No.
And if so, how much was it? Did you manage it well?
I didn't get no allowance. I was watching Lizzie McGuire and all those things. I was like, I need to get an allowance. So I sat my parents down one day because I thought I was grown.
Yeah.
So I sat them down and I was like, listen, how is it that all these other kids get to have allowances and get to like X, Y, Z, and I always like I'm broke or I have to ask you for money. And then they were like, oh, da da da. And plus on top of that, I was already doing chores. So I was like, yo, like I'm doing this for free. I heard the homie was getting like $10. Like,
yeah, for real.
Yeah, for real. Like,
You could buy out the whole corner store with that. The only reason I had an allowance was because I had a stepdad. And so, like the stepdad, he gotta like make sure he gotta cozy up to us. That's the only reason he was the one that gave me the allowance. And then after my mom was with him for like 2 years, he got comfortable. He was like, all right, so I'm pretty sure you don't got a problem with me no more. So I don't gotta. He snatched those $5 back. He was like, I'm your daddy now.
I'm daddy. Daddy's here to stay.
Right?
Nah, but I didn't have none of that. Damn.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
But you doing good for yourself though, so it don't even matter.
Hey, getting that bacon, that Kevin Bacon.
Growing up, how was school like for you? And tell us about the high schools that you went to.
I only went to one high school. I was pretty like, I'm like kind of low key, so it's like I never really like changed a lot. It was more like I moved in the Union area, so I just went to any school nearby.
Of course.
So I went to Central or whatever because it was like.
Of course, my brother went there.
And at the time, I was applying for schools. They were talking about Mount Pleasant was crazy. I was like, I'm not going to there, and I'm not going to Bridges, so I'm going to So I mean, my bad, not that. I was like, I'm not going to freaking Mount Pleasant, so boom. And then so. And what was the other question? Sorry, I apologize.
What were the high schools that you went to? But how was the high school experience for you overall?
Okay, so the experience overall, I hated high school.
Of course.
I don't ever look back at those years and be like, oh, I miss high school. It's not like the movies. No, and I get so mad when people be like, oh, I miss high school. I miss this. I miss that. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, 7 hours in a school. No, I'm good. I'm all right.
I can't believe I did that.
I can't even stay in a 3-hour class with being comfortably sitting down.
I don't know how I did it.
I don't know how I did
but
that.
I did like my school. My high school had a bus stop right in front of it, and I did skip school once. And I went to the bus stop to wait for the bus. The bus was coming, and my teacher saw me through the window, and she kept on saying my name. And there was 2 people next to me. They was like Genesis, and I was acting like I did not know my teacher. Because if I look back, I know it was over for me. So I hopped on the bus, I got in, and then that's when I looked at her, and she was looking at me the whole time, and I was like.
Bye. Oh my God, that happened with me. One time I came in mad late because I was like, I had a little boyfriend and whatever. So I was like, oh, we gotta come late together, whatever. So we came in late, and then my gym teacher, who was my boy, like my homie, he saw me. He was like, oh, that's cool. But then he saw my boyfriend at the time, like come in after me. He's like, call her mom, call her dad right now. Call her. I was like, what? I was like, no.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Were you in any after school programs?
No, I was in detention.
That counts.
That counts. It's not a program.
It's not a good after school program to be about. But hey.
Because I wouldn't shut up. I'm too talkative, so that was
just like right now.
Yeah, exactly. Boom.
JK. Our childhood and teen years were full of fads and trends. What are some of your favorites?
I was super into like black, so
I don't see that as a trend. That's a beautiful color.
I don't see that as a trend. I was like,
you did have an emo phase. So
that's what I'm saying. Like I was all black. Like my whole high school career was black and piercings and
all that
and angst.
Hot Topic.
Hot Topic.
All about Hot Topic.
Hot Topic and angst and lots of like what's that? Manic panic.
Something like that.
A lot of that.
Was there anybody growing up that you looked up to?
Well, honestly, I always looked up to my mom and my dad, obviously, because they're some hustlers.
Of course.
They brought my whole family, actually, over here, so it's like they really, like, I always looked up to them. I'm, like, wicked into, like, poets and stuff, so, like, Edgar Allan Poe, which was, like, one of my biggest, like, things. Like, it sounds super cliche, but I'm so serious. Like,
not a lot of people that...
Yeah, I mean, he was from Rhode Island, too, so it's like, yo... Well, not from here, but he lived here, so it's like, yo...
I did hear that. I didn't know that, but I did remember hearing that.
Yeah, he lived here.
What artists or type of music are you listening to now, that you're into?
Well, I'm kind of open-minded with music, except for country. I gotta be honest, I don't like country. But I mean, like, there's some country that can mess it up. I don't know, I ain't gonna lie. But for the most part, I've been listening to a lot of, like, Bobby Brown, Fleetwood Mac, and, like, older, yet, like, not too old. Like, I don't know.
All
Cool
that oldie
stuff.
stuff.
Some smooth. I've been listening to some smooth stuff. I mean, who came out with a new thing? Freaking The Weeknd came out with a new thing. So I've been listening to that like obsessively.
I
Other than
know.
that,
We
nothing.
just came and listened to.
Yes.
But it's funny. The most cliche thing to say is that we hate country. But when Jolene comes on,
Dolly Parton, I love you, babe.
I'm
Dolly.
done.
Oh, she's that serious. I be hitting that high note. I don't care.
Jolene. Let me stop.
Yo.
How are holidays celebrating your family? Does any of your families have any like special traditions?
Most of my family's kind of spread in New York and New Jersey, so like I don't really have family down here other than one like cousin, and we don't really do much honestly. Like I love my family. We're close as a family unit, but
Yeah.
we don't really celebrate holidays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Corporate America.
I know it's a tradition for Hispanic people to celebrate Christmas on the 24th and on the 25th. Do you guys do that?
I mean, my mom cooks on the 24th, so
Yeah.
yeah,
You
I'd say
think
that's
so?
a celebration.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That's like our Christmas.
yeah, exactly.
But I know there's some Hispanic people who don't do that because they're like, oh, like, you know, like I'm a citizen now. So like, and I've been here in this country for like 10 years. So now I'm just accustomed to like celebrating the American way and stuff like that.
See, but that I feel like is like trying to get rid of your identity. So
Yeah,
I feel like
I can see that.
you need to stay with your traditions. Don't lose your culture.
Yeah,
in
I
that
agree.
aspect.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Thanks, babe.
How's the world different? How is the world today different from when it was like when you were a child?
The world different. Everything got expensive. Cause I remember, my dad had like this jar that he collected coins. I used to go in there get myself like $1 real quick, smooth. I'd be getting chips and like ice cream. I'd be chilling.
Yeah.
Buy the block, the whole thing. Like I was chilling. And then now I can't even buy a bag of chips with that. Like what? I can't even buy it. Like before, like you could get mad candy for 25 cents, no bull.
Yeah.
But like now I can't, and that sucks. 'Cause
Sad
I love
day.
candy.
I mean, the cost of living is getting expensive.
Isn't
Like the
it?
world, it evolves all the time. We just have to get with the times. But our pocket speaks a different language.
Exactly. Isn't like a Twix bar or something like $1 now?
$1 something depends where you get it
$1
at.
something.
Depends where you,
Bro,
if you
that
get it
was
from the
like 50 cents when I was a kid, or like yeah.
if
like
you
50
get it from a
cents,
kid
actually.
who's trying to fundraise, you get it for $1. But
So if you get it from a store, it's like $1 and change.
yeah, tax. You know
Wow.
they gotta charge you tax.
Taxation is theft. No.
What world events had the most impact on you growing up? Did
World
any of them personally affect your family as well?
World events. Well, Trump becoming president definitely affected my family, but I feel like a lot of people of color definitely feel that way because of the simple fact that he's kind of an extremist. And I'm sorry for anybody who's in here that doesn't like that
It's
political
okay.
view, but yeah.
But anything else of you growing up, like 9/11, I know seemed to affect a lot of people, and stuff like that. The
mean-
Columbine incident affected people too. That kind of affected me growing up as a kid. Do you remember anything?
Nah, I mean, me knowing that Tupac was dead, I was really upset.
We weren't alive.
I know,
We weren't
but
alive.
bro, when I listened, like,
I know,
my
I
brother,
know.
I'm the only girl of, like, all guys, so I used to listen to Tupac. I thought he was alive the whole time.
I did. I will say this: growing up, when Michael Jackson died, I cried. So that's
is true.
that's something that affected me for like a hot second.
Sure, you right.
How would you define the American dream?
The American dream?
Yeah.
Dang. You were asking the wrong person. The American dream.
I mean, just because
Okay.
we were born here doesn't mean you don't. Just because we were born here, we could still have an American dream. So
I feel like it's a sham.
a sham, okay.
Yeah.
But what about because you have a mother and a father who came here illegally, and so I don't know if they have an
Their
American,
American dream was to be able to give their kids a better life.
and
I
that's
mean,
what they've been doing.
That's what they've been doing for the most part. But I mean, like, I definitely feel like my parents would have wanted more from my brothers and I
Definitely.
than they do have it right now at this moment.
I know that my American dream was to help fulfill my mom's because my mom's American dream is for us to go to school, graduate, get the degree, stuff that she couldn't do. So you don't have a personal one because you think it's a sham, right?
Yeah, but I definitely I graduated high school for your mama. Shouts out to you. And now I'm in college doing it up.
Oh. Well, it's been a pleasure to interview today, as
Thank you,
always.
lovey.
Love you. Thank you for
Love
being
you.
here. And this is Genesis Garcia, and you have been watching Coming to New England.